But this is what I do in my business on a daily basis. When I'm doing call with my team, the daily huddles that we do 9:45 to 10 o'clock every morning, this is basically what we're going through. So it'll be, I'll be on the call, my lead manager, and then my project manager and my acquisition manager, both of us are on the call. So we're basically going through this section right here. One thing we want to make sure is that task view for every single person is 0. It's not going to be 0 at the beginning of the call because it's going to show some tasks that are due for that day. But we want to make sure that we check with the team that if there's any task that they have due for today, that for some reason they won't be able to do it, or if they have any questions about completing those tasks, or if there's any task that should have been completed before the call and it's not completed, then we go into the reason why it was not completed. So this is the first thing. We make sure that every single task that the team members have are completed or will be completed by the end of the day. If not, then what might be the reason for that? And then this, make sure open messages. So open messages, if you hover over here, we've divided that section to open leads and buyer's inbox. Open leads are any leads that have called you or texted you back and you haven't responded to them. So basically you haven't closed the loop on those leads. So we have open leads right here. So we want to make sure there will be some open leads in the morning when we're doing a call. So those would be the calls that came in or texts that came in overnight. Some sellers responded back or they called back to some of our drip campaigns for our marketing. So we're going to make sure that this would be, so we'll quickly go through that and make sure all of those would be 0 by the end of the day. So we go through, make sure that, if my lead manager, especially, she's making the first contact and then she doesn't have any questions on that. And then the buyer's inbox. So if you send any messages to your buyers and anybody that's responded back, you can see any new messages that came in. You can just click right here. It'll take you directly to the inbox to see if you've had any new messages coming from the buyer. And then the next thing we do is make sure that all the internal team messages have been responded to, or if anybody has any questions. For example, if my project manager tagged me on something on a note, so we go in and make sure that if there's anything that needs to be addressed that I haven't addressed yet, or anybody in the team hasn't addressed yet. So we go through this, and then the next thing we look at is any abandoned leads. So abandoned leads are any leads that essentially are not on any drip campaign or don't have any pending tasks, meaning that nobody's working on those. So if I look right here, I have, in no contact made, I have 20 leads, and 20 of those leads are not on any drip campaign. And 11 of those leads don't have any pending tasks. And then I have 11 leads that have no drip campaign and no pending tasks attached to them. So of these 20 leads, that means I have 11 leads that nobody is on my team is working on because they don't have any drip campaign attached to them. And they also don't have any pending tasks. So we want to make sure for us, anything except dead lead, this number should really be 0. And if it's not, we go in and just kind of review and see why, and you can click right here and it takes you directly to those. Again, my account is going to look a little bit different from yours. It's a test account, so we're making some updates with the pipeline, but the functionality as far as like clicking right here and taking you to the main page will stay the same. So we go through and make sure, okay, we have 11 leads in no contact made that don't have any drip campaigns and also don't have any pending tasks. So we make sure that there's going to be either they need to go to the dead leads because if they don't have any follow-up tasks, or drip campaign. Otherwise, we need to figure out what drip campaign to put them on. For us, when we are, working in our business, of the, I would say about 1,500 to 1,700 leads that we're working on, at any given time on our active leads, there's about 10 to 15 leads. Everything else, pretty much, we're working through automated follow-up. So at any given time, there's like 10 to 15 leads that we're actively working on from our main leads page. And then everything else either goes to a warm lead or it goes to a dead lead. So active leads, think of it as any lead that you feel like you can close within next 30 to 60 days. Those are the ones that you're actively working on. You want to keep in the active leads page. Everything else should go into it with an automated follow-up, should go into a warm lead. Or if not, if you feel like there's no deal to be had there, then you move it to a dead lead. If you keep your main active leads pipeline, clean, it's going to help you more effectively follow up with the lead. So that's kind of what we do with our team on Daily Huddle. Anything you guys are doing that I might not have covered, any questions on that before we go into like our weekly meetings that we do?